2011. So what happened was to visit a family relative. Yeah, some relative around. That was around 7. So we went there and then we came back and then I did my homeworks and all that. I used to be a smart kid when it comes to school. I used to be a smart kid. Always on point, like all the time, right? So I did my homeworks and then, yeah, so it was time to sleep, And so now the shack was actually divided, like with a curtain, that was like my mother's room. And the center was where we cook. What you call? Prima stove. Hot plate, yeah. We were using like hot plate, at that time to cook. So then there was my room. So yeah, so every night before I sleep, I do my things. If you know me, you know what I do before I sleep. If you know me, if you've been following me for some time, I do my things, and then after I sleep, it's fine. Then I wake up in the morning and I bath, preparing to go to school, because I had bigger dreams that I want to be somebody in life, I want to be somebody in life. So after bathing, because Naraberikisa skotrolo, like we're using like a bathing tab, like a small one. I had my own, my mom, my dad had their own. That was before at that time, I didn't even know what's a shower, by the way. 2011, I've never used a shower in my life. I've never seen a toilet inside a house, so I bathed. So when I was done bathing, I've worn my trouser, right? I was shirtless, like I was half naked in a way. I've worn my trouser and then I went to my mom's room because that is where there was like a mirror. Because at that time there was a girl that I was eyeing back in school. So I used to make sure that before I leave for school, everything is always on point, like my looks and all that. Yeah. So now, when I was busy doing my hair, I'm wearing a trouser only. Then my mother notices something, like with me, right? My mom notices something, and then she asks me, what happened here? So what was happening was that at my back, like my back, mukokotlo, my back initially, I had scratches, like literally scratches, So my mom started shouting at me that, why am I fighting in school? Why am I fighting in school? She didn't raise me that way and all that. So I'm like, no, mom, I was not fighting. I've never fought anybody in my life. I don't remember fighting. I've never hit a woman. I've never hit a guy. I've never been beaten before, like for as long as I remember. So I had scratches, like literally scratches. Now, I told her that no, I did not fight with anybody. And then she didn't believe me, right? So she went to work and I went to school. And then when we came back, when I came back from school and she came back from work, she told my dad about it, that no, Hopoto was fighting at school. They beat him up. He has scratches. Then she said I must show my dad, and I showed him, and then I told him the same thing, that no, I've never fought with anybody. I don't know where these things come from, right? So now what happened with everything is that I slept fine. And when I woke up initially, I had scratches all over my back. Like I had scratches all over my back, right? So every weekend I used to go to my grandmother's house. So I used to go to my grandmother's house because my parents' place was at some other kasi, So I used to visit my grandmother. So I went to my grandmother and then I told her that, Granny, I have a problem. This is what happened. I slept fine. I never fought with anybody. I don't remember feeling any pain. But when I woke up, I just found myself having scratches like at my back, you know. And then she said, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And then she said, "Okay, don't worry. It will be fine." So now, after a day or two, my mom calls me in her room, and then she says, "No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the other day. I was actually wrong. I believe that you didn't fight with anybody." And I'm like, "Why do you say so?" Then she says, "No, my mom told me what could have happened." And I'm like, "Okay, what happened?" That was my mom saying that. And then she says that actually what happened to you was that when you were sleeping at night, you were taken spiritually, right? By who we don't know, but you were taken spiritually, and you were probably beaten wherever you were taken. Like they were literally beating you. That's why you slept fine and then you woke up with scratches like at your back as if you were beaten. And I was scared at that time. I'm like, I was beaten. By who? Because I never felt any pain, honestly. Even after when my mom says these scratches they look painful, I never felt any pain, actually. I never felt anything wrong. And I was like, I was beaten. And then she said, "No, go ask your grandmother more about it." And then I asked Granny, and then the next weekend, and then she explained that, "No, man, man, my son, these things happen. Normally, when they beat you up, there are two things. When they beat you up, number one, it's either they've seen your future is bright and they can't stop it. They've seen your future is bright and they can't stop it. That's number one. Number two, it's either you don't listen." And I'm like, okay, I see the one which says my future is bright. They're just beating me for control. I understand why they're beating me with that one. But now the one that I'm stubborn, how was I stubborn? Because I don't remember anything. She says, "No, what these guys do is that they take you, then they send you to do their things, you know. They send you to do their things late at night. And then if you're stubborn, they're going to beat you up. They're going to fucking beat you up. You're going to wake up with bruises, scratches, but you didn't fight with anybody. You slept fine. They're going to beat you up. So it means that you, my son, you were stubborn. You were not listening to them." And I was confused because I don't remember anything. I mean, how am I stubborn? How did I refuse to listen to these guys while I don't even remember anything, you know? So now it turns out that when we are sleeping, there are people who are working overtime, you know, people who are working overtime, taking us at night. But this, don't be scared, guys. Don't be scared. These things happen mostly in Limpopo province. So if you're not in Limpopo, you're in Gauteng, other provinces and all that, you can relax. Don't worry. Nothing's going to happen to you. So these things used to happen in Limpopo. They actually happen in Limpopo. That's like, you know, that's what they do best, unfortunately. So, yeah. So that's what happened. So these guys, they take us at night, then they send us to do these different things. And when you wake up tired. Like you wake up tired. You just wake up tired sometimes. You slept fine, but you woke up tired. It means that they were using you, you know. So we used to go through that. I'm back in the years, right? So now, coming to think of my journey as a human being, I've actually been through a lot, you know. I've actually been through a lot. I've survived so many witchcraft incidents, like so many witchcraft incidents, coming to think of it. And even today, I still can't explain some of the things that were happening. They don't make sense, but we just keep on praying, So now, apparently these guys, when you're sleeping, let's say you're in Limpopo, they take you at night, they can take you to Cape Town, same night, in and out, Cape Town. Then when you're in Cape Town, there are farms there, then you're going to be doing that again. You're going to be cultivating. Is it cultivating? Yeah, whatever it is. You're going to be cultivating their farms. If they want to send you to America, they will send you to America to deliver the Jojo tanks that they will be putting on your back, But you just listen. You just do as they want you to do, So now I think, coming to think of it now, Africans have a huge talent. Honestly, Africans have a huge talent. It's just that we are using it to hurt others instead of bettering our lives, Because, kunzima guys, rough. So now, if you are going through a similar thing at the moment, I've been there before. I want you to pray as much as you can. The devil has no power at the end of the day, as long as God is present, And some of you guys think this is a joke, It's gonna sound like a joke until you sleep fine and you wake up with scratches on your neck, on your back, That's when you'll feel that shit, it's real. And the sad part about it is that you can't see anything. You can't see anything. You can't see it coming. You cannot see it coming. You're just gonna, So it's like that. So after that, life continued. I kept on praying. Then I was fine. I don't remember anything bad after that, Now, as I was hustling in life, pushing, I'm still on the witchcraft issue. As I was still pushing, 2017. Yeah, 2017, when I got my first car. Yeah, first car, Toyota Runex 2017. When I got my first car, that was on the 13th of July 2017, if I remember properly. Yeah, when I got my first car, after 2 months, I went home with it. And that was in Limpopo because I was staying full-time in Soshanguve at that time. So I went home with my first car, So I parked the car at my parents' house, right? And I slept. And then when I woke up, I found 2 tires were flat. Like literally 2 tires were flat. So I called my friend, and he came and then he assisted me with the tire problems, and then that was fine. So in my head, I actually thought, Jorge, it's just an average puncher. Now the second day when I slept, like when I woke up, there was footsteps behind. Actually, there were like footsteps walking towards the car, and those footsteps, they were not ordinary. They were not normal. No, they were not. They were not normal. It was not human footsteps, number one. And there's no way I can... It can't be me. For as long as I remember, it can't be me. So when I checked, it's not chickens. It's not a chicken. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's a donkey footstep or a cow. There was just weird things happening around, Then after that, I kept on pushing. I prayed, I kept on pushing no matter what. And when I went home again in December, that time, I actually bought 3 cars. That was C180, Audi A4, Audi A6. Now after that, that's when stories started, back home that, this boy has a snake. They were referring to me. This boy has a snake. There's no way he can achieve these things and all that. So now it all makes sense as to why these people are saying these things about me, especially back home. Social media, people can say whatever they want to say. I'm talking about people who know me in real life, people who know my struggle, people who know me physically. If you just clicked follow, you don't know me. You're just a follower. I'm talking about people who know me. They started saying that back home. That's where it all started. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, why are these people saying it? Now, when I think about it deep, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because now these guys, they have been trying to bewitch me ever since. Coming to think of it, they have been trying to bewitch me ever since, and they are failing every fucking time. So when they are failing like that, they actually assume that I'm probably using a motive greater than theirs. Because theirs is failing on me, so they assume, well, no, this boy has something powerful than what we have, because now we can't stop him. Because now, remember, a witch doesn't only bewitch you for the fun of it. They bewitch you to stop you from achieving your dreams. They bewitch you from stopping you. Their goal is to stop you from achieving anything that you want to achieve, right? So I kept on winning no matter what. The tantrums, everything they've thrown towards me, I've been escaping. Escaping. So now the only thing that makes sense to them is that, nah, man, this boy has something that's stronger. And they are right. I do have something that's stronger, and that is God. But according to them, it's impossible. God can be this powerful because as people, we believe in different things, right? Others pray pictures. Others pray ancestors strictly. Others believe God doesn't exist. Others are praying Bushiri. As people, we pray different things. And you just stick to what works for you no matter what. So these guys believe Torah, Naman. This boy is onto something that's stronger, And I thought that was the end of it. That was 2017, December. Now moving to 2018. 2018 was the first time I actually buy a Vurpa. Vurpa, I'm talking about a 4-pipe, The first 4-pipe, actually, because there were two of them, Kidi Audi S3s. Now, the ones which were recently repossessed by the bank, So you'll be seeing the stories on newspapers and platforms very, very soon. So they were repossessed by the banks not so long ago. So yeah, but that's a story for another day. We will deal with that one when we get there. So that was like the first Vorpa, the first 4-pipe that I had, right? That was 2018. So now I remember it like it was yesterday. So what happened was that we bought the first S3 on Thursday, and then the second S3 on Friday, like 2 consecutive days, right? The first one and the second one. So now it was a norm that every time when I buy a car, I have to go home and show my mom that, Mommy, Granny, Dad, I've made it. I've bought a car, and they give me blessings and all that, right? Sharp. Now, so what happened was that I went home, right? I went home in Limpopo, driving nicely. It didn't have number plate. It had a permit, brand new from the box, right? So when I went home, there was actually a family function at that time. Like there was a family function at that time. And I was going for 2 things: to show them the car as well as to be part of the family function. So I went there. It was nice, So I went there on Friday, and then Saturday, that was the day of the function. So normally, because I'm the one who's actually a little bit privileged in the family, so during that time I was the one doing the errands, running up and down, So I spent most of my Saturday during the day running up and down, going up and down, buying this and that, buying alcohol, doing this and that, right? So all was well. With the S3, it was brand new. The second one, it was there as well. Yeah, it was with me, but now I was driving the other one, Sharp. That was before the G63, the R7, the 845, the M4. That's way before then. Right? So, that's what happened. Now, the function happened during the day on Saturday. Everything went well, smooth. I was taking in, actually, I would say, driving different family members, relatives up and down, back and forth. So all was well. Remember, I don't drink alcohol. I've never drank alcohol in my life, So I'm always sober. Anything which happens to me, I'm always sober. So like I'm always at a sober state. So there's nothing that I can actually miss. I see everything that's happening. Now, around 8 p.m., I tell my mom, we're still at the function. The function is at the village. I tell my mom that, Mom, remember we didn't turn on the lights back home, so it's dark. So in my car, see, if it's dark at night, there are no lights on, especially around 6, 7, 8. Thugs are able to see that they are not around. Therefore, it's a good chance for us to break in, because they know normally if there are people, lights would be on. So I tell my mom that, no, Mommy, I need to turn on the lights. I need to go home and turn on the lights, because if not, that's advantage. And then she's like, okay, Sharp, you'll go, but just not now. You'll go maybe around 10. And I'm like, okay, Sharp. So we stayed there. It was happening. It was nice, bonding with family, greeting different people that I grew up with. And remember, everybody is happy that I've made it. I've bought a car, even though it was not my first. But yeah, it's something, especially in my family. They see these things with me. Sharp. Everyone was happy. There was no bad vibes. Now, around 10, I tell my mom that, Mommy, I need to go turn on the lights. And then she's like, okay, Sharp, you can go. I don't want you to go alone. And I'm like, why? And then she says, no, I don't, people are not happy, my son. So I don't want you to go alone. And I ignore her and I say, Mommy, don't worry, relax. Now, with what I thought at that time, to accompany me so that I can turn on the lights and all that. Because I know my mom wanted me to probably take my dad along with, or maybe my uncle, and that was going to cramp my style, because So if I was in a relationship with you at that time, hey, you must relax, man. It's old news. 3 years back, you must relax. So now, 10:30 to 11, I went to my kasi now to turn on the lights. So I drove there. So when I got to the robots, when I was about to get to my actual house, then I remembered that, no, man, I forgot the keys to the house. So I had to go back to the village again. So I went back to the village again to fetch the keys. So I fetched the keys from my mom. So when I went back to my house to turn on the lights, that was already like to 12 midnight, right? To 12 midnight. So I turned on the lights. Everything was proper. So Sharp, I stayed for like a few minutes, I think. But yeah, I remember when I left my house, that was 23:50, somewhere there, but closer to 12 midnight. So I left, driving slow, I'm feeling myself. A part of me feels like I'm still dreaming, and then a part of me can feel that this is reality, So I was still in between, sharp. So when I was driving Momotseleng, then there's this other girl who was walking, and then FBK Mada. Then I stopped, and I'm like, "Hey, baby girl, where are you going?" And then she's like, "No, I'm going to there's a place called Radi, like it's where we party that side. I'm going to Radi." I'm like, "Yo, baby girl, you know what? I just got my ride, man, and I've never had anybody get inside this ride here at home. So I want you to be the first. Let me accompany you, And she's like, "Oh, okay, no problem. Won't you steal me?" I'm like, "Baby girl, look at me. I'm not the type to steal." Yo, Annamel. And then I accompanied her to the place where she wanted to party, So I dropped her off. And the sad part about it is that I dropped her off there while the boyfriend was watching. Like the boyfriend was watching. I think that's how I get to create enemies. The boyfriend was actually watching. So, utlaba strong, man. Utlaba strong. So I dropped her off. So when I was going back to the village, that was already past 12 now. Because obviously, when I was with her, we were talking, I was driving slow, sunroof opened 12 o'clock midnight. It was flipping cold, but the sunroof was opened. Because if it's closed, then people won't know that the car has sunroof, So I had to open it, man, So sharp. So when I was going back to the village, then there was two boys. Those ones are my homeboys, Vele. Like they stay at the village 100%, So those ones are my homeboys. So Bare Mfana, coach, are you going back to Hamtodi? I'm like, yeah, dog, I'm going there, And then Bare, no, dog, but we are waiting for somebody. If you don't mind, you can just wait for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, boys, no stress. So we waited for that somebody. It was one of their girlfriends, I guess. So sharp. So now it means that I'm going to lift 3 people. It's 2 boys and 1 girl, right? So now one of the boys in there was actually one of my students, one of FBK students, So he was actually inspired, because at that time, what he saw on Facebook was that I'm lying, I didn't buy a car. So you're not seeing it in real life. It was a blessing to him that he wanna keep on pushing and hustling, so that one day he can get a car of his own. So now, sharp, we drove to the village. I was driving to the village. There are potholes back home, so you can't really drive fast. I was driving slow, feeling myself, Audi S3 4-pipe. Life was good. Now, that was already to 1, somewhere around 12. Now, what happened? Even today, I still find it so strange. Like, I still find it so strange. It's still weird, even today, coming to think of it. So now, sharp, we went there, driving, So there's like, when you go to the village, there's like 3 parts, The first part is leaving the Kasi. The second part is the second tar road. Then the third part is dust road. So when I was on the second part, after leaving Kasi, heading to the village. Now, what happened was that I was driving around about between 40 and 50. That was not more than 60 Ks, right? That was not more than 60 Ks. I was driving between 40 and 50, for as long as I remember. And then if there's something you need to know about Audi, right, is that especially the S3s, when you're turning on the lights, they have what we call auto mode, right? On auto mode, what happens is that the car is gonna light even besides the road. I don't know how to put this, but kama man, just it doesn't only show you where you're going, but even English is running. But yeah, you feel me. Let me use besides. Yes, let me use that word. So it will show you even besides or outside the road. English is running. So I hope you understand. So it shows you so that if there are animals coming, or if there's a person standing, or if there's something, any object, then you can be able to see it. So the auto light used to rotate around, like on the side of the road. Sideways, yes. Sideways, that's the right one. So it used to show me like sideways everything. Guys, I was driving 40, 50 kilometers because the speed limit there is about 60 to 80 between there. I'm not sure. As I'm driving and we are talking, I have one boy in the front seat, and at the back, it's a boy and a girl. So there's like 4 of us in the car, right? So as I'm driving, guys, now I will explain everything after that. But as I'm driving, the last sound that I've heard was caw. That was the last sound that I've heard as I was driving. It was caw. That's what I heard. Like I've heard caw. And then I stopped. Right? I'm going to do a recap. As I was driving, remember I'm sober, I'm not drunk. The last sound I heard was caw. Like it was noisy. Right? Then I stopped. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Right? Everybody in the car is shocked. You know, certain things when they happen, you take them lightly. You take them lightly. You don't read too much into things. But now, here's what happened, guys. When I was driving, the road was clear. It was clear 100%. Clear. And if there was anything sideways, I think I would have seen it, or the passengers would have seen it at least, right? Now, what happened, guys, is that there was a cow which appeared in front of the car. I'm going to repeat in case you didn't understand or hear me. There was a cow which appeared in front of the car. In front. The cow didn't come running sideways, no. The car was not on the road by then, no. It appeared in front of the car. I don't know if that makes sense. And I'm sure you are even confused. Now you think this is a bedtime story. No, I'm not telling you a bedtime story. I'm telling you a real life experience. A cow appeared in front of the car. Remember now, I saw the cow appearing in front of the car. I'm not sure if the passengers saw the car or it was only me who saw the cow. So at that time, I thought I was going crazy. You know, certain moments when you see something, you think you're going crazy. I thought I was going crazy. And so immediately when I saw the cow, I don't know what happened, but I remember turning. And I think I turned to the left. Yeah, it was the left. So when I turned to the left, the caw sound that I was referring to before, it was actually the mirror. The mirror got hit. I don't know which part of the cow, whether the head or the body or the tail or the leg or the what, I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened. Now remember, I'm with people. So immediately when I stopped, And then it clocks in my head. I'm like, fuck. I got involved in a fucking car accident. Me, out of all people, I've never imagined myself being in a car accident. So it haven't clocked in my mind that, fuck, this is a serious issue, right? So now, I got off the car, the boys got off the car, and the girl as well. Now remember now, I saw the car appearing in front of the car. Like, boom. Like, you guys don't understand. The car was not on the road. It appeared in front of me like a pop-up. You see, when you are on Google and then there's like a pop-up on your phone. That's how the car appeared on the road. That's how it appeared. It's a pop-up. You know, it was not there before. I'm not blind. I can see properly. So we got off the car. Me and the boys and the girl. Now, in my head, I thought what I've seen was just an illusion. Like I've seen things, you know. I thought I was crazy, just like you guys thinking I'm crazy right now. Right? You think I'm crazy. So I thought I was crazy. Because I thought what I saw. So when we checked, now here's the first weird part. The cow appeared like a notification. Yes, my guy. The cow appeared like a notification on your phone. So now, here's what happened. When we checked, remember now, if you hit a cow, or any animal at least, especially the one that's standing, you must be able to see the animal that you've hit. So when we checked, number one, the first